Our movie begins with a woman who comes from a wealthy and famous family called Jessica. She was giving birth to her first daughter. Due to their fame, journalists are chasing them, capturing moments of Jessica and her husband even before they enter the hospital. We learn that this family has been famous for generations, known for only giving birth to only sons. There's a curse on them because one of their ancestors named Ralph placed it upon them. Ralph had a maid named Clara. Ralph fell in love with her. They got together and he got her pregnant. However, when Ralph told his family he wants to marry her, they strongly oppose it due to her status as a servant as well as her skin rash. Ralph ends up marrying another wealthy woman from a prestigious family. Later on, Clara tragically commits suicide. She dies along with her unborn child. On the same day, Clara's mother, known as the Town Witch, appears and seeks revenge on Ralph's family. She casts a curse on the entire family, decreeing that any future daughters born into the family will be born with the face of a pig. The curse can only be lifted if one of these daughters marries into wealth and a prestigious family. Since then, all the wives in the family have only given birth to sons, and there was Penelope. Penelope was the first daughter born into the family after the curse is born with a pig face, as prophesied. The family attempts to arrange for the suitors to meet Penelope behind a mirror without seeing her directly, hoping they will confess their love to her. However, when they finally see her face, they flee in fear. Jessica blames Penelope for the situation, but Penelope insists that the groom must see her face. The family has long tried to find a cure for Penelope's condition, but it's deemed impossible as it would endanger her life. Journalists have tried to take pictures of Penelope since she was a child, but Jessica has always prevented them, to the extent of injuring one journalist named Lemon. Because he attempted to photograph Penelope, Jessica was forced to pretend that her daughter's death in front of the public and the press. She ordered the body to be burned in order to prevent anyone from searching for it and discovering that the coffin was empty. From then on, Jessica kept Penelope hidden from the world, confined to the house with only her mother caring for her and educating her at home, never allowing her to venture outside. When Penelope turned 18, her mother attempted to arrange a marriage for her and sought the help of a girl named Wanda. Wanda, who worked at a matchmaking agency to find a wealthy groom for her daughter. However, every suitor who laid eyes on Penelope would flee. Jake, the assistant, made them sign a confidentiality agreement, ensuring they kept silent about what they had seen. However, one day Jake couldn't control one of the groom or have him sign the confidentiality agreement, Edward, who went to the police and reported Penelope. The police thought he was crazy and arrested him. The next day, Edward was released from custody only to find an article in the Journey stating that he had suffered a nervous breakdown. So he went to the journalist Larry. Larry, the one who wrote the article, did so because he thought it would ruin his reputation, so he needed to deny the news. Edward tells Larry that he's not crazy and what he saw was real. However, Larry isn't interested in his words and calls security. Then Lemon, the journalist, sees Edward and asks security to let him go. Lemon talks to Edward and tells him that he should give him a chance because he saw the girl when she was a child, and since then, no one has believed him. They need a photo of Penelope to prove to people that they're not crazy. Lemon asks Edward to go back to Penelope's house, but he refuses because he's scared. So he decides to return to the dating agency that brought him and find another wealthy candidate. They go to someone named Max. Max, the one from a wealthy family, but scattered his family's money on gambling. When Lemon sees him, he offers him $5,000 for a simple request. The next day, Jessica arranges for a suitor to meet her daughter. At that moment, Edward, Lemon, and Max meet in front of the mansion, and they give Edward a jacket with a hidden camera to photograph Penelope. Max enters the suitors who was waiting for Penelope in a room. As soon as they see her, they quickly flee except Max, who remains hidden behind the couch and doesn't see her. Penelope starts talking to him from behind the mirror and asks him if he loves reading like her, but he tells her that he takes books from there because they are first editions and he can sell them for money. Penelope realizes that he steals them and understands that he loves money very much. She also learns that the room he is in is full of first edition books, all of which are worth a lot of money. If he wants to steal something, he should wait until she leaves the room. She pretends to leave, but she can still see him through the mirror. He takes a book and walks away, hoping she has entered the room, but she's not there. So he knocks on the mirror, but she doesn't respond. When she finds him walking away, she asks him if he will come back tomorrow, and he says he will. After that, Max comes out to Lemon and Edward and tells them that he couldn't capture her image, but he will come back tomorrow. The next day, Max returns to the mansion wearing the jacket with the camera and talks to Penelope from behind the mirror about their hobbies, and they play chess through the mirror. On the following day, Penelope teaches him how to play the piano from behind the mirror. Afterward, she enters the room and Max is startled by her but doesn't flee. He stays, and when he tries to touch her nose, she gets uncomfortable and escapes, leaving him puzzled. Max then goes out to Lemon and informs him that Edward was wrong. At that moment, Jessica sees him and shuts the gate in his face, but he jumps over the fence and apologizes to Penelope. She tells him that this is not her true appearance and begs him to marry her, but he refuses because he's afraid the curse won't be lifted. Jessica then kicks him out of the mansion and Penelope decides to escape from the mansion while covering her face. Lemon, who is monitoring the mansion, realizes that Penelope has escaped. Penelope wanders to the city, experiencing the world for the first time, and calls her mother to bid her farewell. She then books a hotel room but struggles to interact with people and pays using her mother's credit card. The next day, Jessica is shocked to see news about Penelope offering $5,000 to anyone who finds her and a composite sketch of Edward's imagination. Penelope's family is forced to hire a detective to find her, but when they try to pay him, they realize that their daughter has made an action of payment using their credit card, and that's how they located her location. When they go to the hotel, Penelope hides from them, but the detective spots her and goes with her family to search for her, but she manages to escape. Penelope then calls Lemon and tells him that she will give him her picture. She goes to the bridge and gives him her picture, which gets published in the news the next day. Afterward, Max keeps searching for her, but he can't find her. She stays hidden until she meets a girl named Annie. They talk and get to know each other. Annie takes her and they ride around on her bike, exploring the streets and places. Meanwhile, Max returns to playing music and becomes a better person. Months pass and Penelope's family has no idea where she is. They randomly spot her on the street, but she flees and hides in a bar where she faints. When she wakes up, she realizes people are looking for her and heads to the hospital. The media tries to photograph her, and when she leaves the hospital, she avoids going home with her family, instead answering questions from the press, which leads to widespread coverage. Her story is the #1 trend in the country. She gets to meet important people like the governor, and everyone started to admire her. Eventually, Edward's father have him propose to Penelope, hoping to break the curse, and their engagement is announced in the newspaper. Larry then asks Lemon to interview Max, who was arrested. When Lemon goes to him to conduct the interview, he finds that the one who got arrested was Max's friend whom he saw at the bar, and that Max is actually a guy named Johnny. Lemon goes to Johnny and tells him that Penelope will marry a man greedy for her and her family's money to break the curse, but Johnny tells him that the real reason why he couldn't accept Penelope's proposal was because he is not actually Max and he's not wealthy. On the wedding day, Lemon speaks to Jessica and tells her about Max's reason behind his rejection of Penelope's proposal. Jessica is shocked, but she sticks to the wedding arrangement, while Andy tries to convince her to tell her daughter the truth about why Max rejected her. But Jessica refuses. When it's time for the wedding, Penelope rejects Edward. She suddenly faints, and when she wakes up, her appearance has returned to normal and the pig face is gone. However, Penelope is upset with her mother because she still wants to change her appearance, so she decides to take control of her life. Jack leaves the place quietly, and it's revealed that he was the witch who cast the curse on the mansion long time ago. Penelope works as a botany teacher as she always wanted. On Halloween, she notices kids dressed as her old appearance. Later, Andy sends her a letter about Johnny explaining his reasons for rejecting to marry her. She goes to him wearing a pig mask, and he tells her that he will be traveling for a while to distance himself from someone important to him, whom he can't give her what she wants. He apologizes for not being able to lift the curse, but when she takes off the mask, she tells him she's already freed herself from it, and they get back together.